Good morning to you and welcome to Monday. I want to bring you a word of encouragement today, which is from Matthew 6 and verse 8. And it says, "So do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him." And yesterday we were out in the garden. Sandra was busy doing some stuff and I heard these words from David. "Ice cream, mummy." So what did Sandra do? Hands full of dirt and stuff from tending to plants. She said to David, these immortal words, "Go and ask your dad." So David came through and guess what? He said to me, "Ice cream, daddy." Now my response, as any responsible dad, was yes, of course. Not what I should have asked, which is what did your mother say? But I could hear David in the garden asking his mum. I knew what he was going to come and ask me. But did I just quickly stand up and go and grab him some ice cream just because I know that he wanted it? No, he came and I wanted him to ask me. Now it's interesting because Jesus gives this as instruction. Ask our Father in heaven, even though he knows what we're going to be asking for, because God wants us to ask him these things. In Mark 10 and verse 46, we see this tale of a guy called Bartimaeus. Now, interestingly, in the Bible, we don't often see people that interact with Jesus who are sick or lame or who have some condition that come to Jesus. We don't often see them named. Interesting, they pick up Bartimaeus. A conversation for another time. Then they came to Jericho, and as he was leaving Jericho with the disciples and a large crowd, a blind beggar named Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the road. When he heard that it was Jesus the Nazarene, he began to cry out and saying, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Many were sternly telling him to be quiet, but he kept crying out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped and said, "Call him here." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, stand up, he's calling for you." Throwing aside his cloak, he jumped up and came to Jesus. And answering him, Jesus said, "What do you want me to do for you?" And the blind man said to him, "Rabboni, I want to regain my sight." And Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately he regained his sight and began following him on the road. It must have been obvious to Jesus what this guy wanted. First off, he would have had to have been led. People went and grabbed hold of him and helped him up and then took him before Jesus. But Jesus wanted him to ask him. Jesus said, "What do you want me to do for you?" Now, to this man, it must have almost wanted to shout out, I can't see. But Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Our Father in heaven wants us to ask him for all of the things in our life. He wants this dialogue, this interaction with us. And he wants us to ask for those things that he even knows that we want, that we need, and that we're going to ask him for. But God wants this relationship with him. A relationship, the simplicity, like David, who would come up and simply ask for ice cream. Not because he can't get in the freezer himself, but because he loves and he trusts in me. He knows Dad's going to give him what he wants, what he asks for. Jesus said, "Ask and receive. Knock and the door be opened. Seek and you will find." The Apostle James puts it another way. You don't receive because you don't ask. And he said, and you don't receive because you ask with the wrong intentions. We should search within ourselves the things that we would seek God for. Make sure that we are approaching him with a correct heart, and doing so, go to him and ask our Father in prayer, who knows what we need and knows what we're going to ask him. Ask him for those things that he already knows we're going to ask. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Seek the face of God today. Seek your Father for the things that you desire and that he wants to give you. God bless you and have a wonderful day.